Hello, this is going to be a quick video on setting up a Covey Experience Teleport. It's part of the Covey Roleplay Systems control system. So I'm going to start by rezzing out one of my control systems. So if I res out a stone archway first, this is just a prop, it's just for a visual. Then I res out a teleport. If I click on this, I will get a menu. The owner will get the admin menu, so will anybody who is on the admin access list in the server. So we're going to start by looking at the TP options. In here we can set a landmark. We can also set a global position, a sim position, the position the avatar will look at, an environment name, and whether you give a message when the user teleports. We're going to start by setting a sim position. If there is a landmark set, it will use the landmark. If there is a global position, it will use that. And now that can go to anywhere on the grid. So if I open the map, you can see the global position of this region. You can use those, or you can use a landmark. If none is set, it will teleport just within this region. And that's what we're going to do to start with. So I'm going to edit this prim here. I'm going to collect the vector. And I'm going to go to set position. You can leave it like that, or you can simplify it down if you prefer. As long as it's a valid vector, it doesn't matter. And submit. And we can see this has now set the vector for the landing position. I can also set where I want the avatar to look at. So if I want them to land here, where this box is, and look at where this box is, I can do exactly the same thing. I can collect the vector, and I can set look at. And now, if I walk through the teleport, I land here and I'm looking towards the box we just set. You can also add an environment. You can change this. If you want it in a different name, you could just add a different asset with a different name. And in here, under set environment, you would just set ENV now. And that will use whichever name you choose here, as long as it's an environment asset. Exactly the same idea if we want a landmark in here. So if I drop a landmark in for this region, now I could use that huge landmark, but I can just set this to demo. So that's going to use a landmark named demo if we set it. So I set the landmark name and use submit. Now, because we've got a landmark set, this would now teleport me to the landmark. So if I go back to TP mode, we can see we've got landmark global. If neither are present, it will just be within the sim, but we're going to set landmark. And now if I teleport, I've gone to the position on that landmark. So let's talk through some of these other options. We've got collision type. You can make it pass through, which looks slightly more natural in most cases, but if you need this to be solid, so they just walk into it, you can do that. We can choose to deliver a message. So once the message is set, one of the TP options You've got send message on, send message off. We also have a range, so we can choose whether it's shout, just to this avatar, a whisper, a say, everybody in the region, or to a region local relay. I'll explain more about this in the video for the greeters and warnings, but basically, let's just assume that I have another group which is all the way over here. If I put a local relay over there, and then in the relay settings I set, say, 10 meters, it will deliver the message to every avatar within 10 meters of the local relay. I'm going to set this to shout, and I am going to clear the landmark. So if I go back to TP options, set landmark, just leave it empty, click submit, that clears the landmark. So it's now going to use these local items here. And we've got message on, we've set a message. So now I'm going to teleport. And what we can see is that it said we've got a message, teleport, which is what we set, and it's told me we've applied those environmental settings. So again, on the menu, we have some more options we haven't yet covered, but not many. Like all items in the Covey roleplay region set, we can select a server number that this teleport connects to. The server I have set out is 0, which is the default. And we can also change the name it talks as. So if I chose name and I chose to set demo, and now I teleport again, we can see this time it says that demo has shouted rather than the experience name it was set at before. The last option then is rules enforcement. You can turn them on and off. If you have this turned on, it will only teleport avatars that have previously agreed to your rules. So if I turn this on, we can see that rules enforcement is now on. I've previously agreed to these rules, so it will still teleport me. If I had not agreed to the rules, instead of teleporting me, it would deliver a copy of the rules, and then in addition, it would ask them to accept the rules. If they click yes on accept rules, it will teleport them, just like it did before. If they don't accept it, it will not perform the teleport that I have just done. Thank you for watching. Bye.